ABC-7 Xtra.
Hello, it is Sunday, September 11th. Welcome to ABC-7 Extra. Good evening, I'm Stephanie Guadian. For the next half hour, we are going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, movies. And not just any movies, movies made in New Mexico and also Texas. We will talk to some behind the scenes and also behind the push to lure Hollywood to the borderland and explain why some filmmakers are many times choosing New Mexico over Texas, even when the movie or television series is supposed to be set in the Lone Star State. The making of movies and television series can mean big bucks for local economies and provide jobs to borderland actors and others who work behind the scenes. So what will it take to get the borderland up on the big screen? We want to hear from you tonight. You can email us your comments and your questions right now to ABC7Extra@KVIA.com. You can also reach us on the phone, 915-496-1771. And on Twitter, just make sure you use the hashtag ABC7Extra. A brand new movie shot mostly in Las Cruces will premiere in the borderland this month. The actors, writer, and the director of River are all local. Las Cruces and El Paso, they're just 45 minutes away from each other, but there is one big difference in the eyes of Hollywood and those here in the borderland who work in the film industry. We're talking about tax incentives.
Yeah, you got it all figured out.
What? The new movie shot right here in the borderland is called River and promises there is more than one way to drown in the borderlands. The trailer asks the question, what would you do to get your child back?
River is a story that takes place here locally in El Paso and Las Cruces. It's about a detective who's gotten too close to some unsavory characters, and his daughter's been kidnapped.
Relax, detective. You are with us now.
Andrew Gomez is the writer of the movie. He also acted in the film and worked as executive producer. If you live here in the borderland, chances are you will recognize many of the movie's 30 locations.
Hey, Mom.
The movie was shot in Las Cruces and El Paso, but mostly Las Cruces. The reason? The state's 25% tax incentive for filmmakers.
If you spend $1 million in New Mexico, they will cut you a check for $250,000 right back.
Last year, Texas cut its film incentive program by 2/3. The director of River, Matthew Valdovinos, lives in El Paso and hopes to see Texas try to mirror New Mexico's effort to lure Hollywood to the borderland.
This is why they had Breaking Bad. This is why they make so many movies out there. Things like Beer Fest, Terminator Salvation, all those movies are being made there because they have the equipment and the crew to cast all that.
So we used over 65 local actors, and we've got over 40 speaking roles. It's a big film.
The makers of River are now hoping for a distribution deal that could take the Borderland project worldwide.
What about your little girl?
And River will premiere September 29th in Las Cruces at the Cineport 10. The filmmakers are hoping to have their movie premiere the same night at the Alamo Draft House in El Paso. Well, join us now with some of the folks behind the movie: Matthew Valdovinos, film director; Andrew Gomez, actor, writer, and a producer; and also Scott Murray, the Las Cruces film liaison for Film Las Cruces. Thank you all very much for being here tonight. Guys, first I want to talk to you a little bit about River. How exciting was it for you to be able to do something that you really love right here in the borderland? I mean, you live here in El Paso, but you were able to shoot and film and employ people here in the borderland.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. You know, I've always wanted to shoot here locally, and I think that we have a lot of talent locally that want to be involved in film and entertainment and acting and music and all kinds of things like that. And so, you know, I think it was a really good opportunity for us to get them involved. And I've always felt that we've got plenty of talent here. You know, we don't need to go anywhere. And, you know, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, you know, we need to tell our stories here. We need to quit having people come in from other states or from Hollywood, you know, and tell our stories to us. We've got lots and lots of talent here, and it's time for El Paso.
And would you agree that sometimes Hollywood's version of the borderland is a little different than what we all live day to day?
I think if anybody's seen a Quentin Tarantino movie, he loves El Paso, and he always describes El Paso. And it's usually one little church in the middle of the desert, and it has nothing to do with us at all. Filmed outside of Los Angeles somewhere.
So you're both from El Paso, then why did most of the shooting take place in Las Cruces?
It's the film incentive. We definitely had to go with that because unfortunately The film package that they have set up over there is just so it draws. That's why big Hollywood movies come and film over there, because that 25% tax incentive is so huge, and it just, bottom line is it always comes down to money. Money is how you're going to get your distribution. Money is how you're going to get your film made, and of course, you know, when it comes to film, that's the driving goal right there.
Okay. Scott, I know you're new to the job. You've only been on a few months. What are you hoping to add to the Las Cruces area as a film liaison?
Well, we're working on getting a soundstage infrastructure started. We're also looking at options for a backlot, marketing to the industry. We have wonderful work up north. We want to get a bigger chunk of that pie down south. Also partnering with El Paso, because the union in El Paso, IATSE 153, the stagehands can work in New Mexico, and they can get, the productions can get a 15% incentive for use of those folks. And there's like 80 people in that union, which will help augment our crew, which is about 43 in the Las Cruces area, surrounding area.
How big is the film community in the borderland?
As far as crew?
Yeah.
Well, there's 80 IATSE in
But what about the actors too, when you put them all together?
That they would probably know better than I would.
Hundreds. It's
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds. There are anywhere from models to beginning actors to child actors. There are many theater programs here in El Paso that, going through community college to the El Paso Playhouse, that have trained actors to do craft. A lot of the actors leave El Paso, like many of us did, and end up coming back at some point. And so not only actors, directors, producers, makeup artists, I mean, it just runs a gamut. There's probably thousands, to be honest with you, that are here and want to work. These are people that want to work and want to be employed, and we're more than happy to put them to work. River is only one production that we have completed. We have other productions that we're working on currently. Matthew has a wonderful script called Precious Cargo that is ready to go into production, and I have a comedy called The Countertenor that is also ready to go into production, and we've got other scripts that we're working on now. And so, you know, this is just something that we have begun for El Paso, but we really think that this can turn into something much larger. We want to employ people here. You know, when a film comes to El Paso or Las Cruces, caterers get put to work, hotels get staffed, and we have to hire electricians and gaffers, and we have to look for equipment. It's a big deal. It's not any way, shape, or form a small thing. Making a movie is really a huge collaborative effort. It takes a lot of people to do it, and we think we are posed to do that now.
Well, I think Hollywood certainly is taking notice. There's a movie that was shot in New Mexico that is in theaters right now. It is titled Hell or High Water. The movie was entirely shot in New Mexico, even though the setting was not too many miles away near the Texas Panhandle. The film follows two brothers who execute a series of bank robberies to save their family farm. The movie stars Chris Pine, Ben Foster, and Jeff Bridges. Rolling Stone reported it as one of the few U.S. films to generally wow audiences at this year's Cannes Film Festival. Here's a preview.
Mama, take this badge off of me.
I think I got this boy figured.
He's got no record. He's never been arrested. You don't fit the bill, Marcus.
You may be hearing a lot of things about me and your uncle.
It's getting dark, too dark to see.
Whatever I hear, I won't believe.
No, you believe it. I did all of it.
Now, the filming took place in Clovis, New Mexico, and other communities such as Portales and Tucumcari. The movie has grossed more than $16 million nationwide and has climbed right now into the top 10 at the box office. So this is exactly what you like to see happen, right?
Indeed. And again, it's the more that we can get in El Paso, in Las Cruces, Deming, anywhere in the southern part of the state is just going to be a huge game changer for everybody. I mean, I've talked with Susie Gaines, your film liaison, film commissioner here, and we're in agreement that whatever is good for El Paso is good for Las Cruces. Whatever is good for Las Cruces is good for El Paso.
Are you hoping Texas, though, sort of steps up when it comes to tax incentives?
I have to. I love life there. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. I moved here. I went to junior high school out here. So I've got lots of roots here. I've got lots of family here, lots of friends here. And then, of course, the friends you make here in El Paso, they'll last a lifetime. Yeah, it's so sad. It's brain drain, I think is what they call it, when your friends graduate from college and they all take off. They all want to go someplace else, someplace where they can find work. And I would love it if we, my fellow graduates of New Mexico State University could come out here. And then I started school at UTEP, and that would have been great to see some of, I know I was only able to minor at UTEP. I don't know if they have a major yet there. But it would be so great to keep those kids in here, because you want to do that. You want that fresh working crew coming out, turning from the colleges, and keeping stories here local. It's so important because there's so much culture here. There's so many great stories to tell in El Paso, so many great writers. I meet writers all the time. They have great stories to tell, and it's so sad that we bring in the writers from Los Angeles or New York, and we have them here. And it's so nice to see El Paso and Las Cruces flourish together.
Back to Hell and High Water, described as a small movie, but boy, is it hitting it big. Are you guys surprised at how well it's doing?
No, not really. I saw the movie. I thought it was a really well put together small movie, probably on, now I haven't seen the numbers, but I would say it's probably done on a rather smaller budget. And I think that, when I saw that, I thought, man, this is shot up in Lubbock or somewhere right around here. And I was impressed by it. I think that when you have a great story and you have great actors and you have, a great director, I mean, obviously Bridges is an amazing actor, but the other actors are really, really good too. And I think that when you just have a good project that comes together, money is not really the driving force. There's a lot of movies that have been made with a lot of money that don't make money. And I think that these small ones, unfortunately, they tend to be kind of, you make $20–30 million in Hollywood, that's not big numbers, unfortunately. But it does allow that production company to move forward with other projects that they can do. And small film is a way to go with really good storytelling. I think that's the way to go.
Okay. We're actually getting some calls into the show right now. Let's take our first one.
Hi, I'm calling regarding why New Mexico has better opportunities for filming. It's because the 25% tax refundable instantly. Second of all, within 2 hours you have a lot of different climates and environments, such as the mountains Ruidoso. You have Mesilla if you want Old Town atmosphere, and if you want something to do with the Border River. And then you can shoot a little bit in El Paso if you need to, but the base is going to be in New Mexico. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling, and you can speak to this. What does Southern New Mexico have to offer?
We have 320 days of good weather for shooting, a wide variety of locations within a very short distance of wherever your base camp is, wherever your hotels are, where they put up the crew. If you go outside of a certain range, 30 miles for some, 60 miles for some, you have to pay the crew to go to and from their work. So being able to shoot in the mountains, shoot on the desert, shoot at the Rio, shoot in Old Mesilla, that's all like within 20 miles, 30 miles, which is great for production. And I agree with you, it's really hard to see that so many of our young people are leaving to go to LA, or even from Las Cruces to go up to Albuquerque or Santa Fe to work. And that is one of our big challenges that Film Las Cruces is working on right now, is to develop our workforce and to retain it, so we have that crew base when we do have a large feature film or even a smaller budget film, that we have the crew there to work on it.
So last year, Texas cut their tax incentive by 2/3. New Mexico, it's no secret, having some budget difficulties. Have you heard anything? Are you worried at all that Governor Susana Martinez may not do away, but maybe reduce the tax incentive?
That's always a fear. We do have bipartisan support for the tax incentives. Both sides of the aisle see the financial benefit from this, and they'd be cutting a lot of money out of production to come here, a lot of money out of the budget. So
All right. We're going to take a real quick break. Remember, you're watching ABC-7 Extra. When we come back, we are going to hear more of your comments. And remember, if you have any questions, you can always leave those for us. You can call our comment line. That is 496-1771. You can also email us right now at ABC7Extra at KVIA.com or tweet me at Guadian at ABC7. Just remember to use the hashtag ABC7 Extra. We'll see you in a moment. And welcome back to Sunday Extra. We here at ABC7 have a filmmaker on staff. Robert Town is a producer on Good Morning El Paso, but he is also a talented filmmaker. He just premiered the movie Song of the Star Slayer at the Las Cruces Comic-Con. The 3-hour-long production is a fantasy film in the same genre as Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. Robert says the movie focuses on two princesses who are at war with each other and a dishonored knight who embarks upon a quest to change his fortunes, test his loyalties, and ultimately affects the course of the empire. Here's a look.
Oh, it's all local actors and local. We filmed extensively in southern New Mexico, both in the Alamogordo, Cloudcroft area, Deming, as well as El Paso. We used a lot of El Paso and southern New Mexico actors for both the cast and the crew.
Song of the Star Slayer was also shown at the Plaza Film Festival in El Paso. The movie took Robert and his crew 2 years to make. And again, you may recognize some of the faces in the film. There were lots of homegrown talent used on screen and also behind the scenes. Joining us now, some of the folks behind the movie River. Again, Matthew Valdovinos, film director, and Mark Vasconcelos, an actor and also a director, and Scott Murray, again, the Las Cruces film liaison for Film Las Cruces. Thank you very much for joining us. You saw Robert's film.
Yes, I did.
What'd you think?
It was epic. It was huge.
3 hours.
Yes, a long time, but wow, a lot of work, a lot of great stuff, beautiful locations, and he pulled it off.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing to do.
And that's what we're talking about too, though. He used, local talent, local staff, and scenery, and put together something like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just finishing a film is difficult. And obviously these are movies that are made on lower budgets. So you're making deals, you're doing commercials for people, you do whatever it takes to get the movie done. And so much great local talent, so many great people helping out. They hear you're making a movie, oh, how can we help, how can we be involved? That's the spirit of independent filmmaking. And when we started River 3 years ago, we basically wanted to show the world that yes, there's all this talent here in the borderlands. Let's create some great movies, get them out there and be seen, and let's draw the bigger industry in here so all these people can start making money at doing great jobs.
And that would be certainly great. We've got some calls. Let's go ahead and take one of our callers.
Hi, my name is Jonathan, and I was just trying to find out what happens if you want to try for some of these parts. Where do you go? Is there a website or something like that? So more local people, if they want to get whether speaking or non-speaking roles, how can they participate? Thank you, and hopefully we'll see more of these movies here in our area. Thanks.
Thank you very much for calling. Is there one place where people can go?
Well, there's several outlets. One of the great things is social media. Social media is amazing, and even on my own personal Facebook page, I'll often throw a casting call. If you go into Facebook, you'll see groups, Las Cruces actors. Film Las Cruces is on there. One of my friends here in El Paso, was telling me El Paso has one too, so I was going to add that one on. So that way, when I need to cast up a film or a commercial or anything like that, I'll go to one of those and I'll go ahead and find what talent I'm looking for, or I'll put it out there and say, hey, we're going to go ahead and meet up here at this hotel or this place, and maybe you guys can come in and audition for these parts.
Okay, what about in Las Cruces?
We have Film Las Cruces, our website, also our Facebook page. You can also go to the New Mexico Film Office. They have statewide casting calls. So anywhere in the state that's doing a casting, they'll have that listing on their website.
What do you think some of the biggest movies made in the borderland have been?
Looking at them. there's been so much going on lately. The incentives are great, and they really draw on the industry. I mean, it's the golden apple before the horse. You know, this is a huge industry that is recession-proof. So whatever the national economy is doing, whatever the world economy is doing, they're always going to be making films and television. So those producers are going to go and look for the best deal. New Mexico's got the deal right now. Atlanta, Georgia has a great deal right now. Let's hope Texas gets it back going, because it really puts a lot of money into a community. And there's no business like the film industry that can disseminate money through a community like the film industry.
Yeah, and we should give credit to El Paso City Councilor Peter Schwartzbein. He's actually been working with the City Council, and he wants to come up with a way to maybe increase tax incentives. Are you guys aware of this as well?
Yeah, I have a friend who has been talking to him. I know he was trying to get Mr. O'Rourke some information about that too, because it'd be nice, it'd be great if we can utilize El Paso too, because I think the one thing New Mexico lacks, like Texas has. So we have, we share the same weather here in West Texas, but El Paso's got such beautiful cities. We've got these missions. We've got, we can use each other nonstop. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be great for them to be able to move back and forth across the Texas-New Mexico border.
Kansas City, Missouri, last year have instigated their own tax incentive for film work. I believe it's either 3 or 5%, and they've been getting feature films because of it.
There you go.
Okay. So did we just have a potential film come through the Las Cruces area?
We had a film come through. They loved the locations. Our crew base wasn't significant enough, and they would have to bring so many people in, put them up in rooms. They were looking at 2,700 room nights for the duration of their production, and it just wasn't financially feasible for them to do that. There is currently a scout I'm working with, started Saturday, and they're looking to double for Afghanistan. So we're out doing those location searches right now.
I think would work.
Oh yeah, they've done it before. Yeah.
Yeah, and Fort Bliss troops train as though this would be Afghanistan. So do you think we have enough crew members here to lure Hollywood to the borderland?
Not really. We do up north, and they would have to bring people down from Santa Fe, Albuquerque area to fully crew, or in from out of state.
Or pull from El Paso.
Correct.
But it's doable.
Yes. Yeah. And a film, I mean, they're going to shoot where they want to shoot, and if they have to bring the crew in, they're going to bring the crew in.
No matter what.
No matter what.
But another major factor in that is having a sound stage and a studio to actually build sets in and work in a secure area. You know, so southern New Mexico and El Paso really doesn't have a movie studio, but Las Cruces is in the midst of working on that. And I've started a company that builds green film studios, and El Paso would be a great place for a film studio. So just having those and the crew, boom, that helps a lot. And then the incentives is the icing on the cake.
Yeah, and that's where we talk about the retention of students. If students would stay here if we had jobs to offer them.
Right.
That's the biggest reason they're taking off to both coasts. They're going up northern New Mexico because, like you said, they have those sound stages and there's places for them to have jobs. Here in El Paso, if they have that here, it'd be nice. Trust me, I've had so many friends take off and they always want to come back here.
Right.
It's El Paso.
Yeah. Want to come home.
Yeah.
Okay, we still got some more callers. Let's go ahead and hear from our callers tonight.
Hi, my name is Mauricio Martondolad. I was just having a question as to people who are in the film scene or in acting, directing, or writing. What could they do to start off their process to maybe their local club or local school, something to do so that you can get this ball moving better? Thank you. Again, my name is Mauricio Martondolad. Appreciate it.
Thank you for calling. New Mexico State has one, right? Film school?
Yes, and the Doña Ana Community College has a training program. We're also looking at the options of building our workforce with just using people that are already trained in a trade. If you look at a film crew, pretty much every position you would see in a city. We need tutors. If there's child actors, you need to have a tutor there for them. You need medics. You need, besides painters, carpenters, wardrobe people, you need security. So we're looking to reach out to the community and find people that are already employed or self-employed, independent contractors. They really, all they need to do is take a one-day safety training class to have a safety certification for the union to be able to go on set, and a set etiquette class, which basically just what the film industry is like and what to do and what not to do on a set. And also people that are recently retired, like the
Vets.
I'm sorry?
The veterans?
Yeah. Police, firemen, you know, they have a certain time frame that they work and then they retire. People, vets, people with disabilities, anything, I mean, anybody would be welcome into the film crew.
Okay. Well, we still have a lot to talk about. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. You're watching ABC-7 Extra. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We love to get your calls, and we've got a caller on the line right now. Go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to know what and how much can we invest so that we can bring in these production companies into El Paso. I'm interested in investing. Thank you.
Well, that's got to be music to your ears.
No, that's great. I mean, independent filmmakers need money to make movies, obviously. So local investors have a great opportunity to be seen, be heard, and get the word out there. Getting bigger Hollywood industry in is a bigger challenge because you need three basic things: your crew, your studio, and incentives help. But if local investors invested in local filmmakers, more people will stay here. Things would ramp up. Like with River, it's going to probably get distribution. We may get it into some big film festivals. That puts the word out. That draws film in because they say, hey, these movies look great. They're done really well. They have beautiful locations, lots of great talent, lots of crew. Let's go there. If they have the incentives, that definitely helps because it's just a payback that helps the production company save money. So local investors, they're a godsend to help independent filmmakers, and there's a lot of them here. One thing that we did with Film Las Cruces, we worked with the city of Las Cruces very tightly, and we had to show them that you got to invest a little bit in your town, in your city, in your film schools to get that bigger film industry down here. Lucky enough, New Mexico does have pretty solid film incentives at 30 and 25%, but you got to teach that city that this is a huge economic development plan. Plus, if the city is film friendly, film producers need everything done now. So a lot of it is an attitude. If local investors helped out the indie people, they could definitely get in on the bigger end when those movies come into town because they like money, producers like new projects, and if a lot of producers, if they come and shoot at a certain location and they love it and the town is film friendly and the crews are great, guess what? They keep coming back.
And they're going to talk about it.
Yeah, and that's more income, and everybody talks in the film industry. So boom, they say, hey, El Paso is a great place. They got crews, they got studios, they got incentives. Las Cruces is exactly the same. Boom. And there's money to be made, money to invest in projects. It's a huge economic circle. Okay. So yeah.
And when can we expect that soundstage to be ready? A time frame for that?
We might have it by the end of the month, end of the year, probably early next year. We're in the process of going through a business plan, to present to the city for their consideration.
Okay. The wheels are moving.
They are.
And with you guys, River, when can we expect to see the premiere again? Shortly?
September 29th in Las Cruces, and then probably the first week in October sometime, we'll do a screening at the Alamo Draft House.
Yes.
And then we'll probably put it out there for a couple film festivals. But we also have 3 distributors who are very interested in seeing it, and that's the big ticket, because they can take the movie and push it and sell it worldwide.
All right, well, fingers crossed. We wish the best for you guys, and thank you very much. We all want to see the Borderland on the big screen.
Of course.
And thank you very much for watching ABC 7 Extra. We'll see you next week.